Welcome to another episode of
Battling with Bourbon.
Today is a Fresh Crack Friday.
And we traveled high and low, baby. We traveled all over the place to find what?
Traveler.
The Traveler.
Now, for everyone who's wondered, this is not a bourbon. This is a whiskey. It's called Traveler's Whiskey. It comes from Buffalo Trace. From everything I've heard, it is...
a marketing scam.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's mostly Canadian whiskey, and then there's also some bourbon from Barton, 1792, blended in. It's a blend of, who knows? They didn't really establish what is actually in this bottle. It's not very clear, but that's what everybody's heard, is that is Canadian and Barton.
Hey, you don't say, eh?
Hey, so we're going to fresh crack and see what this is about.
And Harlan Wheatley came about this with Chris Stapleton. I knows this, but it's not real cork.
Yeah,
it's plastic.
artificial.
The first time I've encountered a synthetic cork from the old Trace. So we shall see. It's actually quite funny, too, because the top of the lid is still wood. You know, so the top of it's wood, but then the insert is actually synthetic. Interesting note, Chris Stapleton over here and Harlan Wheatley, you know, they say they started this journey back when Chris Stapleton was filming a CD back when he used to drink, and he would be sipping on E.H. Taylor small batch. With that being said, used to drink. So supposedly there was about 50 blends. This is blend number 40. That's the one they decided to go with. But then Chris Stapleton, I don't think he ever actually sipped this, you know, because he has been sober for about 3 years now. Yeah,
that's the key question in this is Chris Stapleton sober, but they said that he chose these barrels with Harlan Wheatley.
Correct.
That makes no sense.
No sense.
So how can someone that is sober taste this whiskey? That is a completely contradictory statement. I just don't care for that at all.
So it's giving me a little more on the nose than I thought it would.
Yeah, let's give it a nose.
I'm getting a little cherry.
I'm not getting any cherry, but it's like, it smells weird.
You don't get a spiced fruit? I get a spiced fruit.
I definitely get a little spice, but it's like a, I don't know, nutmeggy kind of.
Like a burnt sugar. I'm getting like a burnt sugar spice.
Yeah, I'm not getting cherry. It smells
but it
weird.
is. It is. That's what I was saying. You know,
it's like an ethanol-y though too. There's a lot of.
It's not really a nutmeg, but it's also not a clove, and it's also not a cinnamon. It's just another
like a
spice.
Weird spice.
Like a pine, maybe. Let me go ahead and give it a little chew. Very mild. It's pretty awful going down.
Yeah, this is.
Oh my God, it gets worse every second after swallowing.
Yeah, it's a 45%, so that's a 85, right?
Yeah, very blah.
85.
Very blah. Very meh.
Yeah.
On the palate.
It is like. It is. It's really not a lot of anything.
No, leathery dry finish as well. Definitely a leathery dry finish.
It has a drier finish than I expected from a weird blended whiskey.
A lot of peel on the finish too. A lot of, I don't want to say orange peel, but it could be like if someone already sucked all the flavors out of the orange peel and then stuck the peel in.
Like a dry peel.
Yeah, like a dry peel.
Exactly. Like the bar ran out of fruit and they're using like dried up old peel.
It's not good, guys.
No, this is not.
Now, here's the thing. If you're gonna mix it with some Coke, is it fine? Absolutely, it's fine. Mix it with some Coke.
It's fine.
Mix it with some vanilla Coke. You know, do I think it's better than like Jack Daniels? I think it could be better than a normal Jack Daniels expression. Could it be better than a normal Jim Beam? I think it could be better than a normal Jim Beam.
But
is it better than
a little?
Buffalo Trace? No, it's not better than Buffalo Trace.
No, not even close.
You know, if you're buying this because you're a Chris Stapleton fan, you know, my hat's off to you. You know, if you're buying this because you're a Harlan Wheatley fan, my hat's off to you. But if you're buying this because you're a daily sipper, you know, there's plenty of other things out there to buy, to sip on a daily basis.
The one thing I'll give it is supposed to be like a Crown Royal competitor. It's better than Crown Royal.
The nose is good. It smells like a stretchy caramel. on the nose to me.
Yeah.
It gets better. It's a lot better than I've had in the past. So we fresh cracked this bottle, but I did buy a bottle because I did not have time to wait for my co-host to try this. I wanted to try it when it came out. And my first impressions was that it was god-awful. Second impression, I just feel like it's regular awful. It has gone up a step.
It's not as awful as you described when you told me how bad it was. But
the first time.
But
it's also not good.
It's not something I'd ever try to go back to. I will not be buying another bottle of this. This is a one and done for me. I don't know. Let's give it a fair rating.
Give it a fair rating. Okay, cool. On the nose, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up on the nose. Thumbs up.
I'm gonna go sideways.
Excellent.
It's not offensive, but it's not good.
Okay. On the palate, I'm gonna give it a thumbs 3/4 sideways, almost down. Almost down. It's not quite down. Have I tasted worse? I'm sure I've tasted worse. Yeah, but is there enough in this to give me a sideways or a thumbs up? Like, hell no. This thing's running on E. It's got about 10 miles left in the gas tank before it hits E for me.
It's between down and half. I agree. It's not quite halfway. It doesn't have the flavor to be halfway yet, but or sideways. But it's not a full down either.
It's not full down.
It's whatever.
It's almost up, down, down.
We'll give it a weird sideways. Let's say that. And then on the finish, I think I'm gonna go down on the finish.
Yes, I'm gonna go down on the finish.
The finish just leaves a weird taste in your mouth.
Yep.
That I don't care for. So for me, it's, what did I say? Down or sideways? Sideways, halfway sideways and down for me.
Yep.
But he's had a up on the nose, but still, it's average at best.
No.
So
it's terrible.
I'd get a Buffalo Trace 100 times over before I got this.
Yes.
Ever again.
Get a David Nicholson before you get this.
Oh God, yeah.
David Nicholson will beat so many things.
Nicholson.
White label. I always get the numbers mixed up. I think it's 1843.
That is right.
It's 1843.
Good job.
Yeah, right?
All right, well, that's it for this Fresh Crack Friday. We'll see you next week.
I'm your host, Mike Produsco.
And I'm your host, Rockstar Johnny Nye.
Top guys out.